What are you looking at me for? I didn't lose. Greetings from Boston. Welcome to Tennis Talk Daily. My last video made the argument that Federer would win the Miami Open, and we have a major upset on our hands today. Roger Federer has fallen in his opening round match to the Australian Thanasi Kokkinakis, and the match was a close one, but obviously Federer will not be winning the Miami Open this year. I guess I made a prediction, but I assumed that those conditions applied. Obviously, a few of those conditions didn't apply, but I wanted to do a video nevertheless to start a conversation about what just happened. And if I were to boil it down to one factor that made the difference today and that enabled Kokkinakis to win, it would be that his serves were a little too big for Roger Federer today. And there is a downside to having faster surfaces. Remember, they started slowing down the surfaces in 2001 or after 2001 for a reason, because the game was getting boring with these big servers. It was impossible to contend with the big servers. Well, Federer was having some problems with this guy's serve, and having watched the match, having watched Roger Federer play this match, I do believe that it was Kokkinakis' serve that was the problem. Now, the numbers sort of reflect this and sort of don't. But again, having watched what happened, this serve, this first serve particularly, that Kokkinakis was dealing out, was intimidating and a bit shocking for Federer, and he didn't have answers for it. Moreover, on the second serve, Kokkinakis was able to get some amazing kick, forcing Federer to be really defensive, standing quite a ways behind the baseline, and that set up some points for Kokkinakis on the second serve as well. But in general, it comes down to the fact that Federer could just not get an edge in to Kokkinakis' serve. He could not kind of get that edge up, as it were. Federer was serving fine. Federer looked good. Federer looked quite well, in fact, but he just couldn't get up into Kokkinakis' serve, and that was what made the difference in the end. Of course, the third set went to a tiebreaker, and it went in favor of the Australian. So it was a fun match to watch, another sort of nail-biter, and there are hazards associated with these faster courts, and Roger Federer kind of experienced one of the hazards today. He just could not get a sort of control over the points. And then toward the end of the match, Kokkinakis was doing quite a good job in the ground stroke department and just kind of out-rallying Federer. So that worked on this day for Thanasi Kokkinakis. Congratulations to Thanasi Kokkinakis. That was a great match. He fought hard. He was taking a lot of time between the points, which kind of irked Federer. But he did play well, and he did sort of outwit Federer with that big serve of his. But what I want to pose to you, and of course now Federer is no longer, essentially at the end of this tournament, will no longer be the world number one. That's right, folks. Thanasi Kokkinakis has taken the world number one and from Roger Federer and given it to Rafael Nadal for free, while Rafael Nadal is on the sidelines and not even playing. Well, that's a great gift, isn't it? So Roger is no longer world number one. Let's talk about what exactly happened today. What do you think happened? And moreover, do you think there are long-term implications to this match? Do you think that the dream is over with Federer, guys? I don't want to even ask the question in a way, but I have to. Do you think the dream is over? I personally don't. I think we're going to see some more of Roger Federer, but I do sense that he's yielding a little bit. I do sense that changes are afoot. in the tennis world and in men's professional tennis and women's professional tennis. Changes are happening, and we have to roll with them. We love the game. The game transcends Roger, but I want to start a discussion. Is the Federer dream over? Did he just knock it out of the park, to borrow a baseball analogy, for about a year and a half? And is that going to be his kind of last hurrah? Is that going to be his final chapter? And it sounds weird to say, but I want to pose the question, do you think Roger's going to be back? And my personal view is that he will be back. It's just going to be mixed up a little bit. The draws, the competition, there are changes happening. I think Roger's going to be back. I think he's going to win another Grand Slam. I think he's going to show us a lot more W's, as it were. But I do want to ask, do you think this match is significant, particularly when put in the context of those final 2 matches out in the desert at Indian Wells? Do you think the end is near? Do you think the dream is going to be over soon? Let's face the reality. He's human. He can only go so far. He's the greatest tennis player of all time, and in fact the greatest athlete of all time, even if he never wins another match in his career. But we can fairly ask the question, has the great Federer fallen, both from, technically from the number 1 position, but has there been some other kind of fall for him, signified by these last 3 matches? Let's talk. I hope everyone is well, and have a great night. Bye-bye.